Welcome back to Tully Television, everyone. And today we have our guy Smokey Bishop back. And today we're going to be talking promising superhero movies that you may have been super pumped about, but when they came out, you were just so disappointed in and conflicted with. And I can think of a few of these movies right off the top of my head. But before we get into it, I want to thank everyone for stopping by, liking, comment, and sharing. I'm hoping today is the day that we earn your subscription. If so, you hit that little red subscribe bar down below. You hit all on the bell notification. You never miss an episode of Tully Television where you get some good looking guys like us talking about some nerd shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But
Hey, you're looking kind of sharp there, Mr. Tully.
oh, you looking sharp there too, Mr. Bishop. Thank you, thank you.
All right, then.
How you been, Mr. Bishop?
Uh, I've been okay. I've been dealing with some things. Had
Yeah.
the Rona. I had I had a backdoor visitor in this window up here.
Yes.
This gentleman helped himself to a laptop and basically stalled progress on our channel. But Mr. Tully's been doing a great job keeping up the good work.
Oh,
So,
thank you, man. I appreciate you. I wanna keep it going. I feel bad for you, man. You've worked so hard with this editing, and I've gotta have a jackalope come in and take it on you. But I appreciate you and your support, and we're gonna get back to where we're at. We just gotta keep trucking on, baby.
just a little comfort. The person that basically I suspect slash can confirm slash but can't prove did this in a incident of divine retribution, I would say. This gentleman, I found out, caught some type of flesh-eating virus. So
Oh
wound
man,
up in the hospital with parts of his body falling off. So
I hope he eats
didn't
up
wish
all his
I didn't
ass.
I don't wish that on nobody, but hey, shit happens.
Right, when you do dirty things to people, dirty things might just happen to you. That's all
Yep.
I'm gonna say. Especially when you do something to somebody that really don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
No,
happens to you, but you don't ever think that don't think that you're not gonna be a part of Cully Television.
yeah.
You're always gonna be a part of us, buddy boy. But
Yeah.
yeah, some promising movies there, man. This was an idea that you came up with, and I'll let you start
Yeah.
off.
Well, I was just sitting around thinking of some movie, like, every other fucking day is another Marvel movie announcement or TV show announcement, and people are talking. And I'm thinking about like characters they could reboot. And just recently, they decided they're gonna try to get Norman Reedus to be Ghost Rider. And I was thinking about the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies and how, like, why didn't they weren't good, but I didn't completely hate them. But there was like, there were things where they just didn't put put a very good story together, I guess, or maybe it's just the casting. Like
Well,
Nicolas Cage, I understand he's like the Ghost Rider fan. Like Superman and Ghost Rider are his two favorite superheroes. He
yeah.
tried to be both of them, and
you
just
know,
maybe he should have just been a producer on it and cast somebody else to do it. Like,
I think that when it comes to the Ghost Rider movies, I was like super excited about it myself because I do like the Ghost Rider story. It's something that can really come across great if done right, especially on the screen. But I think As much as I love Nicolas Cage as an actor myself, um, for the most part, he mainly plays a version of himself, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that when you're fighting haunted animatronics or, um,
Yeah.
you're trying to leaving Las Vegas when he was playing the self-destructing drunk. I think those certainly come out great on him as far as acting and stuff, but I don't think that he was necessarily meant for superhero movies, or at least Ghost Rider anyway, because I just think that he wanted up playing himself too much. Um, as far as the I didn't mind the villains so much. I thought the villains were pretty decent that they used. Eva Mendes, always liked Eva Mendes, but
Yeah, she was good in that movie.
yeah, she's a good actress. I just think that what it really came down to, what was disappointing was that it was. I just don't think Nick Cage was the good actor for it. I think that you're right. He might have been better producing it because he does have a creative mind behind uh in that head of his. It's just some things aren't really necessarily meant for him to play. And that's not a bad thing. I just don't think that he was. I don't see Ghost Rider when I see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, that might be another character out there that he can play that he can certainly, um, do better with. But I'm surprised they even got a second movie out of that, to be honest with you.
Well, what kind of held that first movie together, as far as like writing and casting, was Sam Elliott as the original Ghost Rider.
Yes. Yeah.
Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes did good, and Dennis Hopper as Mephisto.
Yes. Actually, I think that now that you mention it, it did have a decent cast outside of Cage. That's why it's kind of surprising even more that because even CGI was pretty decent for the most part. Like,
For the time, yeah,
right, for the time. I mean, if you go back on it now, you can kind of tell, today's technology where it gets wonky, but I think they did really well with the transformation scenes and stuff. And it's not that I don't think Ghost Rider can work because there was when I used to watch Agents of Shield, they had a Ghost Rider story on there,
yeah, I saw that.
and
I didn't
I
really
really
watch too
liked him
many of
as Ghost
those.
Rider.
I didn't really watch too many of the Agents of Shield past like the third season, but
Right,
I do remember watching those episodes because the Ghost Rider was on them. I would
right.
just watch them just to see how they did it, and they did a good job as
I think,
the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider and
yeah,
the Hot Rod. That
yeah.
was cool.
I think they did really well on that, and I think that the chemistry that he had with Daisy during that time on the show and the rest of the cast was really better chemistry than say Nicolas Cage with the cast he had. Um,
Yeah.
it's like
Um.
I get like some of the jokes were like, "Oh, my head feels like it's on fire." Oh, like yeah, all right, we got it, your head's on
Yeah,
fire, but
we get it.
that's how bad your headache is right now. Um, I can appreciate dad jokes like that, but um, yeah, if you were to compare the live action guys between the dude who did Robbie Reyes and
Yeah.
Nick Cage, I think the dude who did Robbie Reyes did a better overall job as Ghost Rider than say Nick Cage did.
And the Nick Caginess of the movie comes out most when he's transforming, because when you're transforming into a flaming skeleton, you should show like pain and like suffering because you're being consumed
Melted
by
away.
hellfire.
Right.
And he's looking in the mirror, like laughing hysterically and like acting goofy and shit, like a Nicolas Cage character instead of assuming the character that he's playing.
Right. Right. Like that was another. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's something I didn't even really realize until just now. That yeah, the transformation scene is basically you're melting away, so the hellfire skull can come out, and the flames can come out of you. I would assume that is quite a torturous uh experience to go through. So you're right, maybe a little bit more of the pains of anguish should fill your ears a little bit more instead of him just going
He kind of,
Joker-esque or Nick Cage,
yeah,
like you said.
it kind
Um,
of like was like, he was kind of portray the ghost rider, like the spirit before the body showed up, you know,
right,
and it kind of didn't work that way. Like with Ghost Rider, you gotta he once he's consumed by the spirit, that's when you see the personality of the spirit.
right, right. Um, the only thing, the one of the other things I was a little disappointed in, um, like for me, I know they did it a couple times in the movies, but I was always a big fan of the penance stare that he would do,
Yeah.
and I think that like how you talk about during the transformation, it should be uh, strenuous and painful. I think the penance stare is supposed to do something similar to the person you're giving it to,
It's
because
supposed to it's supposed to basically punish your soul for every bad thing you've done. Like you're supposed to reflect back on everything you've done wrong in your life and
right,
let it and have it consume you. Like,
right, that the pain you cause is coming back to you
yeah,
like a
tenfold.
hundredfold or whatever,
Yeah,
and you're feeling that pain, you're feeling that fire, so to speak, that he's staring into your eyes.
yeah.
Um, I think what really killed this movie franchise, and I'm hoping that uh, Marvel and DC understand that you can do these type of movies. Is the PG-13? I think them being
Yeah.
PG-13
Certain
didn't do any
certain
favors.
characters don't necessarily need to be watered down as far as like their character to be PG-13.
Right,
Like you could have a PG-13 and still have like a dark ass movie. The PG-13 is mostly for language and like gore,
right,
you
right,
know, like you. But they kind of like lean too far into like, oh well, we need a bigger audience than what is tailor made to the actual property that you're doing.
right. Because you can turn to certain horror movies, and
That's like they made
sometimes the implication of violence is scarier than the violence itself.
yeah,
Because before you show them the violence, your brain goes anywhere.
yeah,
What is this guy going to do to this person, as opposed to, oh, that's all he's going to do to him, or like, oh, all right.
yeah.
There's sometimes the implication of something is scarier than the thing itself, and
Because you know what happened. You
right,
know, you don't have to show. You know what happened, and your mind is like, oh, that's fucked up. Like you don't need to see it all the time.
right, right.
You know, and then sometimes it's cool to see like how they do it, like,
It's
but
a,
not
it's
oversaturated to where it's like, oh, here's another fucking, they're just putting this in here so that it's gory.
All right. All right. Sometimes there is an overabundance of things that are like, geez Louise, like
Yeah.
he's eating him alive and now he's got to eat his toes. Like, geez, man, enough.
You know what?
He's a
You know what movie?
God. Like,
You know what movie really what movie really balanced that out good? Like where it was a lot of blatant gore, but at the same time it wasn't like didn't seem like it was overly done. Was the remake of Evil Dead?
yes,
Like
yes,
there was a lot of fucking gore in that movie, but
right,
because you know what type of movie that is, it worked. But
right,
then if you go do like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and he walks up to a guy and puts his fist through the guy's skull and
right.
they show his fist going through the guy and punching his brain out the other side of his head, you're like, we didn't need to do all that.
Oh, it just even
It could still be an action movie with violence, but you didn't need to punch the guy through his fucking skull.
all right, like when like in the Terminator when he went into the bar, he basically was like, give me your clothes and stuff, and we
Yeah,
didn't necessarily see exactly what he did 100%, but that
but
next
he
scene
came
is
back
coming
out.
out
Yeah,
in the
with the
clothes,
clothes. Yeah,
so you can only imagine. The imagination is like, damn, what did he do to these motherfuckers?
yeah.
Because the whole,
The whole fucking bar was like, all right, here's my drawers.
right, right. And normally, if you're in a bar full of bikers, God forbid you say boo to one of them, it's
Yeah,
be the end of the night for you.
they're all boot stomping you out.
Right, right. God forbid you give them a look the wrong way. You better fucking apologize and buy a round for everyone.
Yeah,
This guy just came out with the fucking nice biker boots and the leather jackets and
yeah,
so yeah, the implication sometimes is so much more fun to think of than
yeah,
to actually see it. So I think you're right with that. Ghost Rider could be someone who you can see them doing certain things to add fear to the villains around them. But certain scenes you can have the cops show up in the next scene and kind of just make a face like, yeesh, who the hell did
yeah,
this, And it's like, if it's bothering them, I can only imagine what the hell this Ghost Rider did.
yeah,
It's the name even of Ghost Rider, it's supposed to, you know, inject some sort of fear into
yeah. Well, spirit of vengeance.
you. Right. Like, it sounds like
You
that's
know?
something you don't want to run into.
Yeah,
So that's a good pick. That's a good pick. I,
you
I
know.
really think,
And even like just one real quick comment on the second movie. The second movie got the dark and gritty part right,
yeah,
but it fell apart with the story and the casting of the I don't what I don't even remember. Was he playing like a different version of Mephisto, the old guy, or is that a
yeah.
different character?
I think that was supposed to be, yeah, I think that was supposed to be like a Mephisto style character, but I don't think they really called him Mephisto,
Yeah,
but I think it is supposed to be a
and,
Mephisto style character.
yeah, and
And
then the other dude that touches people and they like rot. They
right,
took way too long. Took way too long to turn him into that character because he started out as normal in the first like 3/4 of the movie, and
right,
and that character was just annoying until he actually had a purpose and like a skill set.
right, right. So it really, and then if you're not really familiar with Ghost Rider or the Ghost Rider stories, you may not necessarily be familiar with these villains.
Yeah,
So you kind of putting yourself in a position of, um, I mean, I don't know why you would go. I hate to be like that guy. Why would you go see a Ghost Rider movie if you don't know who Ghost Rider is? Because I want newer people to come in and see these movies and be like, oh, okay, that's interesting, an interesting concept. But it could be
And
that
then
not
just
many people knew
in
exactly what they
yeah,
were getting into with this movie either.
and then I just think in the first one too, the villains they were too easy to die. Like he didn't really face off with them that long. Like a couple of
No,
them, he just showed up, wrapped them in the chain, and sent them to hell like within like 10 seconds.
right, right. I want a little bit more sizzle for the steak. I want, you know, the the whole point of being a hero is failing and learning how to beat these obstacles in your way. And yeah, it could have. There was so much potential for those movies that if he would have stayed, like you said, as a producer or a supervising hand on it, I think they would have turned out better. I'm kind of glad that the Superman movie didn't necessarily work out for him now too,
Yeah,
because I don't know how I'd feel about a Nick Cage Superman
I
movie.
just I obviously you've seen pictures of him in the
Yeah,
costume, right?
yeah,
With the mullet.
yeah,
Yeah,
with the
no,
long
that didn't work.
hair and
That did not
uh,
work.
no, no, I don't know where that look came from, and
The costume looked like it was. You ever had? You're an old fucker like me.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
the air the air pennies,
yes,
the blue and white air pennies, but with like the blue
yeah,
was like vinyl.
yes, yes,
That's the kind of like material they used for that costume.
and it's
It was like shiny, like patent leather.
that's why I like Henry Cavill's suit a lot better
Yeah,
because it looks more um like a
it
ma-
looks like it, it looks more like an alien material that is
right,
made for clothing. Like
right, right. It's like their version of denims or something like the Kryptonian denim. If you like. Yeah, I know that Superman costume he had was not that would have been that would have set Superman movies back. People
yeah.
think that the Man of Steel movie pushed
Well,
Superman movies back.
we'll we'll hold on to that subject. What do you got? What movie did you feel you you wanted to like, but there were certain things about it that you're looking at
Uh,
and you just like you were kind of like disappointed, basically. Like,
I have a few, but one of the ones that um, really killed me was Green Lantern. Okay, I was a big Green Lantern fan growing up. Um, I always liked the whole willpower thing, and I always thought the color yellow as a weakness was dumb. I'll admit that. But then hearing that Ryan Reynolds was going to do the part, I love Ryan Reynolds. I think that guy is one of the funniest dudes to hit Hollywood in the last 20 years. Um, Everything from Waiting on to now. Uh, Maybe there's a couple of things I'm not a big fan of his. Um, but everything that he's come out with, just for the most part, I've loved. Free Guy, like I said, Waiting. Um, that's that movie where he was the fat kid, but then he got better looking, and then he went back home to try to win back the love of his life.
yeah,
Um,
that was a good movie.
that was a good movie. That whole lip syncing, I swear, funny as
Just
well.
Friends, I think it was called something like that. Just Friends or
Yeah, yeah,
Best Friends
his
or some
friend,
shit.
something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah. So I
yeah, I
was
remember that movie.
super excited about this, and um, Geez, man, the costume was so horrible. Um, really, it just not really what I was anticipating. That CGI was off for me. The story was off for me, and I don't know if choosing Ryan Reynolds to play Hal Jordan um, was the right Green Lantern choice. Maybe he could have been more of a Guy Gardner type of one because he seemed to be more of the smartass Green Lantern.
Yeah, I see more Guy Gardner.
Hal Jordan was more. I mean, this guy was a
Hal Jordan was kind of like Steve Rogers.
right, right, and not like so much the wisecracking uh, character. So
Yeah.
I think that if they would have did like a Guy Gardner Green Lantern and then totally changed up the CGI on it, make the suit look more practical, I think that it would have turned out way better. It was disappointing because of, again, my just being a big fan of both the character and then the actor. You would think that these things coming together would be the chocolate and peanut butter coming together, so to speak. But it
Yeah.
just was, you know, it,
And it was, it's no fault. I think with that movie, as much shit as it gets, I think that movie really is nobody's fault. It
I
just
think,
came out that way.
yeah, I think
They
that I,
they really did. They tried something. They tried something and it just didn't work.
right, right, and Green Lantern is probably a hard character to try to convert into a live action thing. I think they did pretty well with it in the Justice League Snyder Cut when they released that last year. I think they there was like a little minute and a half clip of
The lantern
Green Lantern,
fighting, yeah.
and that looked good. The costume didn't look corny or anything.
Well,
Powers
are
looked.
they are they still going forward with that Lantern Corps show? I know they were doing something when it was DC, but now everything's on HBO Max. They were supposed
I
to do like a Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, I think that they're still doing that, but I still think that that's going to be a while away. I know they wanted to do um, like Hal Jordan in the Snyder Cut, but they got shot down on that, and that's why they went with
Yeah,
Martian Manhunter,
well, that's what the Martian Manhunter was supposed to be, Hal Jordan,
which
and something happened to where I guess what was that, the
might be
licensing?
due
They
to
didn't want to do it.
the show that you're mentioning.
Yeah,
Maybe they're still trying to do that show and don't want to confuse uh, too many people. But
yeah.
if they were to if they were to give Green Lantern another shot at a movie, I would definitely be interested in checking it out. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds would be my choice at the moment now to try to revise this.
Well,
Uh,
would you want to do Hal Jordan or Guy Gardner first, or John Stewart?
um, I'm at a point now where I wouldn't mind a Hal Jordan being in, but I would definitely like to see a John more. I would lean more towards the John Stewart Green Lantern story. And to be honest with you, I'd like to see either Michael B. Jordan do Green Lantern or Idris Elba to do that because I think either actor can do a decent job with that role. Um, I know Idris Elba is a little bit older. He's kind of like 40 or 50. So I know if you want to try to get someone to do 3 or 4 movies, you might want to then go with Michael B. Jordan because he's kind of younger and can kind of, you got about 10 years with him if you were to sign him
Yeah.
in the next couple of years. Idris Elba, you try to sign him for the next 10 years for a movie franchise. You
Yeah.
know, he's only going to get
Well,
older.
here's a wild pitch. So you you know how like now they're incorporating those Netflix shows into the MCU.
Yeah, yeah,
You've watched the Arrowverse, right?
yes, yes.
So in the Arrowverse, in the last episode of the Arrow, Diggle becomes the Green Lantern,
You know,
and he's a good character. He's a good actor to play that part. Like,
you know, it's wild you said that because I was watching a review on Batwoman the other day. I watched this channel that just totally roasts.
does that
Bat-
show? Did they finally get rid of that show, or
no, it's still going on, and he recently was on
to
that show.
who's like who's keeping that show alive? I stopped after like basically the first episode of the second season, and I'm just like, the last season just it had nothing to do with the girl, Ruby Rose leaving. It
No,
had to do with I wasn't impressed with the first season, and now you're trying to convince me that
now to invest
this
into a
girl just
whole new
finds her costume on the beach and becomes the new Batwoman.
Batman. Bruce Wayne trained all of his adult life, at least 10 to 20 years
Yeah,
of mixed martial arts, learning science, learning how to become the world's greatest detective. Years, years learning from the best, the League of Assassins, uh, all these people, and all she has to do is pick up the outfit. She's the bestest ever. You know,
yeah.
you're a 120-pound
Like
woman
at,
who can
at
beat up
least,
6'5"
yeah,
men that are 300 pounds
yeah.
and be okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't even beat up a fucking 6'5" man and that's 200 pounds of muscle. Got me get thrown the fuck around, okay?
I get I get my ass kicked by my 8-year-old niece every time I go to my mom's house.
All right. So,
After like 10, 15 minutes of her beating the shit out of me and jumping all over me, I'm like,
all right,
we gotta stop.
and yeah, where you kind of get serious, like stop.
Yeah.
I love you, but
Yeah,
stop.
exactly. Like, listen, we're not playing no more.
All
Cut it
right,
out.
right,
Someone's gonna get hurt, and it's not gonna be me.
right. This whole ham hock is the size of your
Yeah,
face, little one. But yeah, you're expecting me to believe that this woman who's never had any fighting skills of any sort, no training in
yeah.
any sort of detective work,
I
police,
mean, at least Kate was basically a part of the Wayne's family,
right,
and B, she had military training. Like,
right. So you can kind of say she had some sort of hand-to-hand
yeah,
combat training or something like that. I mean, this chick was hanging out in the van talking
yeah,
to her plant, and again, it has nothing to do with. See, when people complain about these type of shows, that for me, it has nothing to do with that she's black or that she's a lesbian on the show.
yeah.
It has nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with
It could have been a straight white male fighting the suit and trying to think that he could be Batman. It's like, bro, you live in a van, and
yeah,
what makes you even come close to think you can be Batman? I mean,
yeah,
eh, for me as a person, I don't know if I would want to chase someone down for even them stealing a fucking Snickers bar. Forget
yeah.
about wanting to jump over rooftops for because the Mad Hatter's trying to poison the water.
I see I see somebody running out with fucking like 2 Snickers bars. I'll just be like, yo, you give me one.
Right, give
I
me
didn't
one.
even see you here.
Yeah, like it takes.
If you go in and you rob this place, just grab me a Snickers bar. You can keep the
Right,
cash.
I mean, like when I was at the truck stop we were working at, I mean, anytime anyone would leave with a coffee they pay for, I mean, I would say it loud enough just to say I attempted to stop them, but I just be
Yeah,
like, "Hey, that coffee, the coffee, you didn't pay for that. Yeah, yeah, you
yeah.
know you're hearing me over there. I know I'm yelling it loud enough for you, because everyone in the restaurant's looking at me now."
You didn't. It's not the fact that you stole the coffee, bro. It's water and beans, but I just made that pot of coffee.
All right, I'm glad I spit in it.
Yeah,
Oh my god, yeah. The only time I've really ever busted ass trying to catch someone who stole was someone got me for GPS.
I was there that day. I remember that.
And I ran out. And that's when I ran out because that was like a 500.
You didn't
But
you take it out of the case to show it to him, and he grabbed it out of your hand and ran?
yeah, well, what happened was I took it out of the case. He was asking me all these questions. He was trying to ask me how much tax would be. So I kind of turned to the side and I put it down like a dummy, not underneath the register, but like on top
Yeah.
of it. And he ran off. And I was like, son of a bitch. I
Oh,
fucking
okay.
ran out. That's when I
Yeah,
really,
I knew something like that happened where you like turned around for like half a second and then he was out.
boom. He was gone. He was gone. But yeah, I mean, just give me something, give me some sort of training for her. And I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been so upset about
All right.
that.
So
But yeah, Green Lantern was really
yeah.
a disappointment for me. Uh I'd be willing to give that movie another chance though, if they can come up with someone and a good looking story and certainly polish off the CGI. That was
Yeah.
definitely one of the biggest killers of that movie was the CGI. It needed to look way better. Needed to look way better. But that what else you got on your end there?
All right. So I do have two in mind right now, but I want to go back to what you said earlier about how if the Nicolas Cage movie, Superman movie ever came out,
Yeah.
it would have ruined the Superman movies.
Yeah.
What about Superman Returns with Brandon Routh and Kevin Spacey?
You know,
Do you think that was do you
I
think I
have
don't think it
to
was a bad movie. I just think that it was unnecessary. It didn't really do much for Superman.
no, it really touched on it didn't really touch on too much other than Superman
What
real
happened when he yeah, what happens when he came back?
right.
And it
You
never
know
really get into
what he did. Uh
yeah, like what when he was away or how things were while he was gone. It was just like, all right, he's back.
back and now everyone's kissing his ass. And
Yeah,
that's okay, you know, I mean, especially for Lois, like she had his son, but yeah, there wasn't really any would have been interesting to see Lex in jail or wherever he was at. Um really contemplating his revenge, watching him plan that out, seeing Lois wondering where he was at, those type of things. Maybe see that would have been an interesting movie to bring another hero in, to be like, well, this was the hero that was protecting Metropolis while you were away. You know,
yeah,
maybe to set up some sort of tension there where you must, you know, at least the hero would be like, oh, you must think highly of yourself. You can leave for years, just come back, and we're all supposed to just now kiss your ass because you're back. Where were you? You bum, you
yeah.
know? And
And that was part of the mistake of that movie too. was trying to make it a direct sequel to the second Superman movie.
And that was silly. That was silly to do.
Just rebooting it, making it another different universe. Like
Yeah,
they wanted to continue with Christopher Reeve's character, but that wasn't Christopher Reeve's character.
no, no. And I like Brandon Routh. I think he did an okay
Yeah.
job as Superman. I liked that little speech he gave the son at the end. Like basically saying that you're my legacy onto the world. Um, because now he can, like for himself, he was pure Kryptonian. Now here
Yeah.
he is, he kind of added something to humanity. And I would just be like, man, I only wonder where that's gonna go now in the next 1,000 or 2,000 years, where, how many
Now that his DNA,
how many
now his
Superman,
DNA is part of human DNA. Yeah.
right? You know, I don't know. I think that that particular movie was like you said, unnecessary. They could have set it up to where um there was another hero or something, or Lex even took over Metropolis and defending Metropolis, where he could have
Yeah.
been not that bad of a
Yeah. That's kind of like his character. What he does, he plays the hero with his own intentions. He
right.
does that a lot, Lex Luthor. Yeah.
And he could have very well um been the ongoing hero, so to speak, and kind of turn Metropolis against Superman until Superman proves that no, this time he was trying to do this, and I
Yeah.
proved it. So, but yeah, they missed out on that movie too, unfortunately. I think they picked a good actor to be Superman these days, Henry Cavill. I mean, that guy is fucking shredded. He's got a
Yeah.
good look to him. He can pass as a Clark Kent and Superman.
Yep.
Because like when he's dressed in normal clothes, he can kind of have that non-intimidating look that Clark has. Because I think he even said that what he would do is, as Clark, he would try to slouch down a little
He
bit,
tried to make himself look lower, because
right, like a
you're
little bit
kind of
more.
playing someone with lower self-esteem, so
And
you're
so when he's Superman, he's all like da da da. And when he's Superman, to me he looks like Superman because um even watching him in The Witcher, or just even, I mean, this guy is like the all American. Well, not that he's American, but he's like the guy next door, where he doesn't let the fucking looks get to him. He doesn't let the fact that he's got a shredded body get to him.
yeah,
He builds his own computers. He's a gamer. He's a nerd,
yeah,
and he talks about things that legitimize him being a nerd. Like shit,
yeah,
only a nerd would know that shit. Like, okay,
yeah.
interesting. So I like that whole aspect to him, and um, they really picked a good guy to be Superman. I just unfortunately I don't think that that's gonna continue to happen too much further, because it seems like they're trying to move away from that universe, so to speak.
Yeah, there's our rumors though that he might return in some type of form as Superman,
I hope
but
so.
we'll
I
see.
hope so, because um the whole Superman and Batman don't kill. Uh, well, first of all, Batman used to kill back in the day. All right, there's plenty of covers from like the 40s, 50s, and 60s where he's just
Yeah.
wilding out with guns in his hands and shit like that. So he was a killer. And as far as Superman, that was He used to be Dickie in the comic books back in the day too. Like he used to do
Yeah,
some fucking shit to Lois, like to
yeah.
prove that she loved him or something. And like it wouldn't be. Uh, I mean, like, yeah, if you're a hero,
Like Jesus Christ, Lois. I know you worked all day at the fucking planet. Well, can you at least cook me dinner? I've
jeez.
been, I worked all day with you. I gave you some time to make me dinner. I went out, fought some crime. I came home,
Do you know how
and
heavy these fucking airplanes are that are crashing? You know how heavy they
listen. I'm strong as fuck, but I still need my protein.
are? For real. Oh man, yeah, Superman. I mean, I get it, man. Superman uh has to watch himself because even if you flicked your face,
Yeah,
chances of breaking your face could be pretty high.
and that was another thing about I think Brandon Routh's version of Superman. You didn't really feel intimidated by him.
No, he just seemed like
He
uh
seemed like uh, Air Jesus. Like,
right. Like, come on, guys, why are we fighting?
yeah.
Let's not fight.
You're like, I know I can fucking rip you into like six pieces, but just chill, bro. Oh,
Right? And then if you look at Henry Cavill,
Henry
uh,
Cavill is beast out on fucking what's his name, Zod.
yeah. I mean, even if you think back at that scene, when the Justice League brought him back to life, and the Flash,
Yeah, yo,
the Flash is coming around to try to get him,
that's
and
the best
all
part
he's doing
of
is
that
side
whole
eyeing.
franchise.
Right? All he's doing is giving Flash the side eye.
Well,
Like,
the
I see
Flash
you,
was like,
bitch.
wait, Flash was like, wait, you could see me? What the fuck?
And that was just a side eye glance. Like, I see you,
Yeah,
bitch. And
it's
that
like
even
I'm waiting for you
kills.
to,
I was like,
I'm waiting for
oh,
you to come back around this way.
right. Like, oh shit, he's seen me. No.
Yeah,
And then when he took Bruce and he was like, do you bleed? Like
yeah.
that was like, oh my God, that was like he can play a fucking badass and be a good guy at the same time and just be like, yeah, 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 you got this, man. You're right. Whatever you
Yo,
want.
did I ever show you the video I made with their fucking the Batman versus Superman fight where I put Wu Tang
Yes,
Clan over
yes, yes.
and how easily that shit matched right up,
It did. It did. That was some good work.
bro. And I just synced it up with the music, but the illest part was when the Jizza said he said first of all he's like, I'm more rugged than slave man boots, newbie croops. I'm fucking up MC troops. And then he's like, I break loops and trample shit when I stomp a mud hole
Right.
in that ass because he's straight out the swamp. As soon as he said stomp,
Yeah.
Superman jumped up and stomped Batman through the ceiling. And I
Yes.
was just like, holy shit.
It fits. It fits. Superman can be someone who I always liked Superman being that character that was uh people didn't realize he was always one bad day away from losing it too.
Yeah.
You know,
Injustice.
Injustice was that day, which on a quick note, that Injustice movie they made was kind of a letdown. That's on HBO Max.
And also, if he had, like on Red Sun, if he had landed in a different part of the planet.
Right, right. If you land it, because with him landing in Russia, he became a communist Superman, uh, murdering Lois and the baby unintentionally set him off. And, it really goes to show you that, Superman may have a list of ethics and morals he wants to try to portray.
Yeah.
Bottom line is he's still a flawed person, and it's just really easy for him to to cut loose one day and just say, "Fuck it, I'm tired of fighting crime. I'm in
Yeah.
charge," and become the like Homelander is in The
Yeah.
Boys. But yeah, that Brandon
What
Routh Superman was
what
um
is your what's your next pick for a movie that you wish they would have done better?
mm. I have a few here, and I want to say I want to definitely. I'm gonna go with Daredevil with Ben Affleck because
Daredevil.
yeah, and by association, I'm gonna say Elektra too. With
It's kind of like It's kind of like a two-parter with those two.
yeah, um,
One shows his side of the story, the other shows her side of the story.
right. I
It's a rom-com.
the I love Jennifer Garner. I think she has um good acting chops. I One of my favorite movies is 13 Going on 30 with her. And that's like one of my
Did you see her in Peppermint?
which movie?
Peppermint.
No, no, I've been wanting to see that. I've been wanting to
You
see
have
that. I heard good things.
that right there is a great movie. Like it's just a good movie. The
Okay,
story's good, and she's wicked with the gunplay in that movie.
right. Okay, all right. And see that's why I like her. She can be a good actress.
It's like she's like the female version of John McClane in that movie.
Nice. Now I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
What kills it for me though is that as much as I love Jennifer Garner, I don't know if she should have been Elektra because when I
is
think
that
of
cultural appropriation or just or
not so much like
the whitewashing? That's the term, whitewashing.
when I think of Elektra, I just think of more of a Mediterranean woman
Yeah,
than I would say a Jennifer Gardner.
well, she's
And
Greek or something, right?
yeah,
Nachios.
yeah, Nastia, yeah, it's like Greek or something like that, something along those lines. And I mean, I guess Jennifer Gardner kind of fit into that, but I don't know, she didn't strike me as Elektra. And Ben Affleck as Daredevil, there was a lot of things I liked about it, and then there was a couple things where I was like, that was a little bit goofy. Like the Bullseye character was a little bit goofy for me,
Yeah,
and I like
that
Howard
was off the
Earl,
mark.
but that was too goofy.
That brought that movie out of like a reality setting.
Right,
You see that guy and you're like, this is a cartoon.
right, right. It wasn't. I mean, how do you even get that branded into his head? Why would you get that branded into your head? Um, if you're supposed to be an international assassin,
You don't want the motherfuckers to know who you are.
right?
You
Even
walk in with that thing on your forehead. There's Bullseye. Hi, Bullseye.
right, especially when you're hanging out in a fucking underground
What are you
dingy
talking about?
bar and you look
My
for
name's Bill.
right, Bill.
My
Uh,
name's Bill. I'm just here for some beers.
right. Yeah, that killed it for me. That was too goofy for me. Um, the one of as much as it's just like a throwaway scene. I like how uh Ben Affleck when he gets ready in the morning, you can kind of see him touching the tags of the suits to see which suits it is. Uh, the scars on his body, the him chewing Tylenol to get the pains and aches away.
Yeah.
Um, I think he did really well as far as trying to play a blind man. outside of obviously doing the physical stuff that 99% of blind people wouldn't be able to do for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. Um, but like the general thing of blind folks um, kind of stuck out with me because I back in my like when I was 18 or 19, I had a job out in Long Island as a doorman, and when I would come home in the mornings, because I would work overnight, there was this guy that would take the bus into the city with me, and he happened to have been blind due to some accident in the Navy or something. Had something blow up in his face, and he lost the sight in his eyes. And he had a dog that would travel with him and stuff like that, a seeing eye dog. And he was very open for answering questions and stuff because him and I got friendly over. We were both Mets fans, and so the misery of being a Mets fan
Oh yeah,
made
I
us
know the misery of.
come together in solidarity.
I'm a Mets fan and a Cowboys fan.
So you definitely know
I
how
hate
it is.
sports. I either hate sports or I hate myself.
Right. True. True. But he really took me aside with some questions that I had always wondered, and some of those questions that he answered, I'd seen in this movie. Like one of them was like, "All right, so you have a, you know, I'm assuming that you bring lunch money with you and stuff like that to eat while you're out and stuff like that. How do you know if you have a $20 bill in your hand or if you have a $50 bill in your hand or a $10 bill in your hand? How are you? How is it that you're trusting like that with that?" And he was like, "Well, it helps out. My wife helps me out in the mornings, and a trick that we try to do is if I have different denominations of money on me, I'll fold them in different ways. So when I pull them out of my wallet, if it's folded a certain way, if it's folded in a triangle, I know it's the $20 bill. If I have this um, more folded in a square, I know it's the $10 bill. And so then I have a general idea of how much change I should be getting back from the person I'm giving my money to. And another thing I asked him was, all right, so like no one's around. How do you know you're wearing the proper clothes for work? Like how you not how do you sure you're not wearing this is my beer drinking shirt to
Yeah.
work or something like that? And he was like, "Well, there's I put little things on the hangers to say, oh, this is my work clothes, this is my fuck around clothes and stuff like that." Again, it helps that you have people around guiding you the right way. But it's not easy. It's not easy when you're by yourself. And he was like, even one day, this will be the last story I say on him. One day, the bus broke down about 5 or 6 blocks from where we normally would get off. And before I was getting ready to get up and leave, which he was so slick. I don't know how you would. He was like, "Before you leave, Bart, I want to ask you a question." And I'm like, "Damn, how do you know I was getting ready to leave?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he was like, "You think you can help me with the dog to the train station because she's not used to having to walk this far to the train, so she might get a little confused about where to go." And I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Just let me know what you need me to do." He's like, "Just put your elbow out and I'll hold on to your elbow and just kind of let me know in a general idea when we're coming to a curve or something like that. And the dog will help out too. She'll stop or whatever." And it was really interesting because watch that dog interact and really be so aware of everything going around it was amazing because before I would even say, all right, we're coming up on a curb, so you're gonna have to be aware of that little step down. He'd be like,
The
"Oh no,"
dog's already on it. Yeah.
right? He's like, I already know," and
Don't tell me how to do my job.
right, right. The dog is like, I'm in charge."
Listen,
The
you
only
need me as much as I need you right now. All right.
right, right. And so finally, we got to where the train station was, and I'm like, "You good from here?" And he's like, "Bart, I got it every day from here." I was like, "Yeah, I got it." I was like, "I
Yeah.
know, I just worry about you, man." He was like, "I got it." And then after I
Yeah.
left, I was like, "Well, yeah, duh, Bart, how's he do it when I
Yeah.
leave from here to go on my
Yeah.
own way?" And he goes on his own way. How does he do it? Because I see him every morning. He must be doing something right.
You were just a means to an end at the moment. You weren't his end all be all.
Right, right, right. He just wants to make sure that he got the extra 2 blocks.
He doesn't wake up every morning hoping you're there with him.
All right, like, oh no, Bart's not here. What do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to laugh to myself, but it's really amazing how what you can do um, without the ability of sight. It's really wild that you can still
Well,
go on your day with the occasional help from people, hopefully. But yeah, the money thing would be my killer. It'd be
yeah.
like, man, I hope I'm not giving out a fucking $100 bill right here.
Yeah.
That would kill me. That would kill me. I fucking rob from a blind man? That's right, motherfucker. Yeah.
I just got to go back to when you mentioned your beer drinking shirt. My uncle had a shirt with like a golf course on it,
Yeah.
and it had two golf balls and the flag or whatever, and
Right.
it said I can't find my balls. Right, a
Yeah.
humorous shirt, funny, cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
This we were getting evicted from our trailer. He shows up to court with that T-shirt on.
Yo, that guy.
I looked at him. I said, "You're wearing that to court?" He's
Fucking
like, "Yeah, I don't care. Fuck these people." And I'm just like, I get it, but still, I can't find
uh,
my balls. You're gonna go in front of a judge with that on? Yeah,
yeah.
I don't give a shit.
So you couldn't find your balls or your ring. Oh,
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't find a shirt either. Apparently,
motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, I would have fucked with him a little bit as the judge. You couldn't obviously find the shirt either, so
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Daredevil. I think that Bullseye killed it for me. Um,
Kingpin.
and I
Good.
appreciated what they tried to do. I don't think he was a bad Kingpin,
Yeah,
because he did fit what the stature of the Kingpin was for the most part. Michael Clark Duncan is a
he
big.
was kind of more of a wasted character than anything in that movie.
Yeah, because he didn't.
They tried making Daredevil and Elektra more like the
Main.
opposing sides to Matt Murdock.
Yeah, and I really one of the things I did like, I thought the soundtrack was a great soundtrack for the movie. A
Yeah,
lot of,
they had a lot of good music on that soundtrack.
and I liked how they showed how Matt viewed the world, like when it started raining, and you can kind of see how he views the world like that.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice little effect
yeah,
to that. But yeah, they kind of missed the step on a few of those things, and it was unfortunate because it could have been a better movie. You can tell that Ben Affleck was really trying to do his best there. Um, like I said, I love Jennifer Garner, but I don't know if she was. Uh, I don't know if she was my Electra. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
probably would have picked a different actress to play her. Um, and then that Electra movie was just
When
kind
was
of,
that? 2000, 2003, right?
yeah, like
2003. Probably, I would probably have gone with Eva Mendes.
see, I could have I could have lived with that because I would have she's I would have passed for that uh golden toned superhero that Elektra is, and um she's not above getting physical for parts in movies and stuff like that. So I really think that yeah, even Mendez was
And that would have probably given her a better career. She had just came from she had just been in Training Day like 2 years earlier.
right, right. So yeah, that was her first major part. And then you would have been able to get this in there. She would have been across the screen from a couple big heavy time hitters as far as acting. Because Denzel and Ben Affleck are pretty up there. Um, yeah, I just think that that was one movie I was really looking forward to, and kind of feeling like an overall uh depressed feeling over it. Like, oh, so much, so close yet so far with a lot of things with it. But yeah, that's another choice of mine. That's another movies that came up in my head when you brought up uh the topic. I was like, oh, Daredevil and Elektra are definitely up there. It's a shame. It's a shame because I think that there was so much. Uh, I think that like these movies were still trying to catch the wave of what to be and how to bring it across the screen. Because I think a lot of the problems with some of these movies have been lack of technology back then.
Lack of technology, and probably the formula hadn't been really put together yet either. Like, they're trying to decide whether they're taking a comic book character
Right.
and trying to create a live action version. So do you create a live action version where you're recreating the comic book as like a live cart, like a live animation, or are you
Mhm.
creating this character in a real world?
Scenario,
Yeah.
and how do you fit the aesthetics to that in real life? Um,
And then and at that time, the only movie that really got away with that was Spider-Man.
right. Yeah. Yeah, because Spider-Man, um, it's such a classic look anyway. You can do so many variations of that and still have it look good.
And
Um,
the hero wears a mask, so you don't really have to try to imagine, like, you can't, you don't have, like with Daredevil as an example, because we're on that movie.
yeah,
You don't have to look at Ben Affleck wearing a goofy cartoon mask and be like, oh, it's still fucking Ben Affleck. Because
right,
Tobey Maguire had the thing over his whole face. He could be Spider-Man without trying to be, act it, be an actor at the same time.
right. I catch you. Because you can have the ability to hide your face underneath the mask and not have to emote as you're performing. Um, I would imagine that it's kind of hard to, like you said, with certain costumes. I think that's why they even stayed away from Hawkeye's classic costume with the big purple hood and everything, because
Well, yeah, that would just been ridiculous.
it would have been like, God, that doesn't seem logistically beneficial for a fight. Like
You're you're only wearing that costume at certain clubs.
right, yeah. Yeah,
They usually have a lower level where
yeah.
you pay extra to go there.
Were you asking, yes, sir, may I have another?
Yes,
Yes, you may have another.
and your name isn't Hawkeye; it's something else.
You're gonna get something in the eye.
Yeah, there's an eye involved, but it's not the Hawkeye.
Oh shit, that would be fucking great. That would be great. Fucking fucking sex club Avengers. We're gonna totally avenge getting laid. Yeah, yeah, that costume would have worked. The Daredevil costume, like you said, it would have had to look good because you still had uh been
A
under the
well-known actor, a well-known actor playing the part, and
right.
also it was, you know, I mean, similar to Batman, where you can only see the bottom of his face, but
Yeah,
at the same time, like Batman can be played a multiple different ways and still
right,
get something across.
right.
Whereas that version of Daredevil, um,
There was only really one way to.
yeah, there's only one way to really do it.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, but I think that as much as that affected him in his career, to stay away from superhero movies for a while, I do really think that him being Batman, he was able to um, redeem himself a little bit,
Yeah.
because outside of what people may feel about the Batman for Superman movies and the Justice League movie, um, Ben got fucking buff and cut for that
Yeah.
movie. That
Well,
even
yeah, and the thing too, even with Daredevil, he was good as Matt Murdock.
he
I
was,
didn't
he
believe
was.
it was Matt
Yeah.
Murdock,
I did like
and
that.
he's an
Court,
excellent Bruce Wayne.
right.
Like,
Yeah, like you're right though. You're right. Matt Murdock, he had some good court teams in there where, with the questioning of the guy, he would sit there and then just wait, listen to the heartbeat and be like, oh, you fucking liar. I'm getting you tonight. It was really another movie that I think could benefit from an R rating, um, or just a bit of a darker touch to it. Um,
well, they showed that with the Charlie Cox series.
yeah, I think the Charlie Cox Daredevil was a great example of um, staying true to
That
like
hallway fight is still like
costume.
one of the best fight scenes ever.
Right, right. That man was so vicious in that show
Yeah.
with beating down people. It was again reminding me of that Simpsons episode where it's that kid going, "He's already dead.
Yeah.
Stop!" Like, he's
Like
done.
the two best fight scenes out of the whole Netflix like franchise
Yeah.
were both hallway scenes. There was the Daredevil one and the Luke Cage one, where he's running through the building with the fucking car
Yes.
door.
Yes. Yes. That was actually pretty fly. Um, I did like Luke Cage a lot. That show was pretty intense. And then, yeah, that show was great. Daredevil was great.
I
Uh,
even liked the Jessica Jones show. Jessica Jones was pretty like Jessica Jones was like an entertaining show, like a detective show. Like,
yeah, yeah, I liked her a lot. The Iron Fist was okay. It was okay. He wanted to remind.
supposedly the second season was better than the first one, but I
It
never even
was.
got around to the second one. I don't
The
know.
second season was better than the first, but Yeah, I can understand the qualms about the Iron Fist show. It was kind of like,
I think part of the problem was is the actor wasn't a martial arts expert. They had to train him to fight, and
and
the
you can
person
tell
he's
him that.
playing should have been played by a martial arts, maybe not like a martial arts athlete, like an MMA fighter, but at least someone who does martial arts in movies or
Well, when you call it the immortal Iron Fist, uh, you're expecting some sort of Bruce Lee style pizzazz to your fighting, and no one can be Bruce Lee, but shit, he wasn't even. It, I don't know what he was. He just wasn't
yeah,
on that level of really like bringing it home as far as the
yeah,
fighting. But yeah, so I guess that kind of fits with the disappointing possibilities of something that could have been better, but wound up being no bueno. What about you? You have any other ones on your list there?
all right. So I'm gonna give you one more because then deciding on which one you pick right now, I have two, and I'll do one of those two, and then we can wrap it up.
All right. The last one I'm gonna do is yeah, I'm gonna choose that. Before I tell you the one I'm gonna pick, uh some of the honorable mentions I have here is Wolverine
Okay, yeah,
Origin.
I was gonna do some honorables too. So
The other two honorable mentions I'm gonna throw in there are the Fantastic Four movies. I think that they were good for what they were, but also kind of like lame. They were kind of like run of the mill. But what really this movie really killed me when I seen it, X-Men 3. Um that the Dark Phoenix saga.
last bit. Yeah,
Yeah, with Femke Jensen, the Jensen one. Man, I just wish they man, there could have been so much more to that. Like we don't see Cyclops die at all. We kind of just see his glasses floating around. Um,
well, sir.
so he kind of gets an ceremonious welcome.
That's because homeboy wanted to go into one of our previous movies we just talked about, Superman Returns, instead of coming back to the X-Men franchise to
Yeah,
play the biggest cuck on the planet because he's being cucked by Superman.
exactly. He's
So he got cucked. Hold on. He forewent being cucked by Wolverine
right.
to being cucked by Superman.
He's just a big fucking cuck. A big cuck. Um, yeah, unfortunately, limited Cyclops. Um, really kind of screws with continuity here and there. Um, really, uh, killing a Professor X was, I think, done just for shock value, and
Yeah,
I just wish that they would have been more um, true to how the Phoenix Saga have worked out in the comics. And again, it's kind of hard to put in 20 plus years of stories into like a 2 hour movie or what have you. But
you also have to think about how many mutants they already crammed into that movie, and how
right,
many that they missed out putting in that movie,
exactly,
and
like,
how like you got to think of the characters that they want to
yeah,
show, the characters they want to get rid of, they don't want to show, and then casting those characters. So
Yeah,
they had a big project ahead of them, and I just think they couldn't. They got to a point where they're like, all right, we just got to put this fucking thing out. Like we spent so much
money
on
and
this
time
fucking
into
movie
this,
that
and it's
that
really a shame because I
I'm
um
sure there's a lot of footage that has not been seen that they just left out because they either couldn't afford to shoot it or that was just it was going to make the movie too long.
and I don't know. I just feel like Magneto realizing at the end that he was wrong, kind of was like a little too late. Like you're a smart
Yeah,
dude. You couldn't have seen this coming. Her just totally going fucking berserk, and now you can't do nothing to
yeah.
stop her. And to win what? What was like the ultimate goal of him? Like it was Magneto
His whole thing was
was
we shouldn't have to bow down to a lower class of race
of
in order to be
race.
accepted.
I did, and I get that. I get feeling like that, but like
But at the,
he's so
also,
smart that like, come on, you know that she's too powerful to have
I
just
think I don't know if this was history. Like I don't know if it was him becoming what he hated, or if it was him um turning the tides on what he hated. But his ideology, being a Holocaust survivor,
right,
he either became the Nazi or he became stronger than the Nazi and used that to overpower, anyone that would deem him lower than themselves.
right. I catch what you mean. That's a good point of looking at it
Like
because you're gonna use the same force that was used against you.
yeah,
You know,
you're battling against something with its own logic.
right, right. And he realized that it got a little too out of control there, and it was really interesting to see him kind of realize like, oh shit, like, oh, what did I do? Um, and you're right. And to not bring back Nightcrawler was such a big part of and a big hit from the second one. I'm
I
sure,
think that was the actor's choice. I don't think the actor wanted to do it again, and they didn't want to recast him.
right. So I can understand that then. I just feel like they kind of again misstepped with this movie because
Do you
then
mean like the Juggernaut bitch?
yeah, the Juggernaut, it's like
I'm the Juggernaut bitch.
like come
I
on.
look like I look like they just threw a bunch of like styrofoam on my head
And still
and
did
spray
it.
painted it.
And this is my helmet.
Yeah.
No, 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 they missed the point. They missed that. Um, they could have, like you said, some of the mutants they used, like Spike and the
Which
other,
is also the Juggernaut's not a mutant.
right, right. He's a human that just happened to find
It's
the
magical
stone,
powers. Yeah.
right? Magic powers. That's how you want to get a magical stone. Um,
I
yeah.
got magically stoned before we start this video.
Yeah.
Side note.
Let me rub that magic stone, baby. I don't know. Don't mind me.
Let me rub my eyes. I'm stoned like Medusa.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally uh felt disappointed with that, especially how the first two came out pretty good. X-Men 2, I thought was
Two
X2
was
at the time was
excellent.
like my favorite X-Men movie, and
No
then
pun intended.
yeah,
No pun intended, but X-Men 2 was excellent.
it was excellent. Um, but yeah, this X3 was just not something that I was hoping to see more, like you said, different mutants in there. I was expecting, uh, man, Gambit. I was expecting a bunch of different ones, but you know, they kind of used lamer mutants, and
Yeah,
then the one mutant that you have multiple man, you just decide to leave in the forest that
yeah,
distract other people, where you could have had him on the front lines and you would have had like
yeah,
20 extra fighters or 30
yeah.
extra fighters on you. I don't know why you keep him there instead of someone else and then bring multiple men with you where you can have more people with you in the final battle. But I don't know. I just wasn't really big on that version of the Phoenix Saga. I would have loved to see the more of the
Yeah.
space adventure that came with it in the comic books, as opposed to them fighting on Alcatraz. It's like, eh, you know. Angel though, I think they did all right with Angel. He looked nice. I
He
like,
looked good. They didn't give him enough of a character though. They didn't. He should have been a bigger character.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just wanted to show that his dad was an asshole. That's what they just wanted to show.
exactly, exactly. And he sure was an asshole.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's my last pick of a disappointing comic book movie that I had high hopes for and was expecting better, but kind of just fell short for me in an overall sense.
So, couple. Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned the Fantastic Four because that was one of the two I was going to mention
Okay.
as far as my last movie.
All
So
right.
the Fantastic Four definitely an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Um, the Punisher with Thomas Jane, I thought was a good Punisher movie, but at the same time wasn't like you said wasn't dark enough,
All right.
which they got right in Punisher Warzone.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that was such a underrated, like underseen movie that no one really understood it. Like,
That whole shotgun to the face scene
yeah.
alone
Or
was
when the dude's doing parkour and he just shoots him out of the air.
right. Right. Like, oh my God. Like, holy shit. This is the Punisher that should have been,
Yeah,
walking around. But um
you got
yeah,
that one. You got yeah, you got that version of the Punisher. Um, there was one other one I was thinking about. I don't remember what it was. Well, yeah, the second time they tried to do Fantastic Four, the
yeah,
Fan Four Stick bullshit. Um,
yeah. That fucking movie.
yeah,
That
that
movie.
movie was terrible.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
I don't know what the fuck. That was a waste of money. That's what that was. That was them trying to keep the license again, I think.
right. Yeah,
And
that's
then oh shit, man, I just had Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
3.
3
Yeah. Yeah, that
and
was
that's another mention.
yeah, that was highly disappointing too when with certain aspects of that movie. Ah, damn. Venom. Venom could have been so much better. And
Well,
uh,
I have my opinions on that, but
I
I don't think it was
mean,
terrible. I just don't think you can't do Venom without Spider-Man. That's how I feel.
right,
Um,
right. You need to have one. You can't have one without the other. There would be no
before,
Venom.
before I say my before I say my last one, do you think you know what it is? Don't say it. Just be like, oh yeah, I think I know it. If you do, or
I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna come out with because I know you're pretty versed with these things. So you might be thinking of something that I'm not even contemplating offhand. I have a I might have a feeling what you're gonna say, but if when you say it, I'll let you know if I was really thinking that one or not.
so there's a couple things related to this movie that we've mentioned before. So first, there's Ryan Reynolds,
Oh, okay, okay,
right?
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
second,
I think I
the
know.
second thing is X3, the X Men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I know where you might be going with this one. Are you going Wolverine Origins with this one?
Yes, Wolverine Orange.
Oh my God, bro. I That was on my list. Swear to God, where's my fucking list here?
Before I get into how they
Wolverine.
fucked this movie up, the first time I saw it, I was already like, I already had a problem with it, but it wasn't because of the movie. I had to watch the movie again to actually understand that it was a piece of shit. The
Okay.
first time I saw it, I watched a bootleg copy where half the CGI was missing from it.
Same here. Same here. I
And
remember
they
buying
showed
it
the
from the
fucking,
bodega and
they
being
showed him putting his hands up and there was no claws. And then they showed him on the fucking train, or
yeah,
when the train comes when they're fighting in the lumber yard and he's
yeah,
supposed to be ducking the logs. The logs were fucking grayscale and they were coming at him.
yeah.
And
Oh,
then when he killed Deadpool at the end and cut him up and the guy was falling,
yeah,
it was the head. They mapped out the head already,
yeah.
but the rest of the body was just like polygons falling
Yeah.
down the fucking yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember
first of all, I didn't, while I'm watching it, I'm like, this movie's not even finished yet. The fuck?
that. How is this gonna get any
How did
better?
this get out? Like,
And the one thing that Deadpool is known most for is what you're gonna take away from him throughout the
yeah,
movie or part of the movie, and that's his
it's
sarcastic.
lit. His nickname is literally the Merc with the mouth,
Right, to
and
where
you got rid of his mouth, and you literally got rid of his mouth. It wasn't even
where
like they shut him up. It wasn't even like they shut him up like by making him a robot or making him brainwashed to where he's like just not going to talk. He's just going to be a brainwashed. They took his mouth away.
right. And it's such the stupidest talk about continuity errors to ask. This really added to them in the general gist of the X-Men movies. Um, they, I thought the opening sequence was kind of cool, to where as you see
How they
between
showed where his powers started manifesting, and
right
then
and
the
the
whole
war,
introduction of the how many
was,
years that he was doing this. Yeah, that was fine.
but
That
when it
was
came to the
all of it.
story, yeah, it was just so wonky, um, so convoluted sometimes on if you really just wanted Wolverine to come to you, you could have did this and that. Um, Sabretooth allowed himself to be used like an idiot. Uh, and Sabretooth is not like a dumb character,
Yeah,
and they kind of portrayed him like kind of like a dumb in this movie. Um, I don't know how many different people have to play Stryker in the X-Men movies. I mean, we have like three or four characters that played Stryker, and they're all supposed to be within a few years of each other. So it's
and
like,
they're all different ages.
right. Like, gee, give me a fucking break with that.
Yeah.
Um, you have Emma Frost in this kind of, even though they don't call her Emma, but then you have Emma Frost in the First Class movie, similar with similar powers. Um, yeah, it just really
Now
was
that now that we look at it from a Spider, let's say a Spider-Man No Way Home perspective,
right.
X-Men should have addressed that as multiverses, but they tried to create everything within the same continuity and the same um
So, yeah,
reality,
yeah.
but the story was all over the place.
Hey, if you were to follow those X-Men movies and then the movies related to them, it'd be a highly confusing story. Um, they tried to. I'm glad they tried to bring it together in Days of Future Past and kind of reset everything. But yeah, that whole X-Men timeline thing was a disaster. And then at the end, you see Xavier coming down of the Origins movie, and he's walking. He's
He's
looking like
walking, he's like 30 years younger.
right, and
He's fucking rocking out with his cock out.
hey man, you gotta jam out with your clam out,
You know?
and
Like, I'm here to save all of you.
never heard this before.
Well,
All right, and you couldn't make the hair any quicker, you fuck, to save him
yeah,
from that second adamantium bullet. And then Gambit was
a letdown.
okay, like, but being a, I,
My favorite X-Men at the time was Gambit, and when I heard he was going to be in the movie, I'm like, oh shit, Wolverine's gonna be fucking, Gambit's gonna fuck him up with them fucking cards and shit, and
you know,
the support staff, and
yeah,
they didn't even do nothing with it.
it just was
At
kind
the
of
end, they were just like, oh, we're on the same side, so I just so happen to have a jet. I'll drop you off on the island. Okay.
oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just happen to have a jet around.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I know Gambit's cool, but I didn't know he was having a jet laying around cool. Yeah,
I didn't know his gambling addiction got him a fucking a private plane.
right. He must be really fucking good at cards, bro. Because that's a lot of hands of poker to win.
Yeah. Especially when you're blowing the cards up too, and you're just
Right. If you
like,
if you put your jet in the pot, I'll put my '67 sedan in.
how did how does he cash in his chips when he's using them as weapons? Like,
All
you can't
right.
collect fucking winnings by you go in. Well, I won it, yeah, but where are the chips at? Oh, well,
God damn!
this
I
guy
just blew up
behind,
two hundred
yeah,
thousand dollars worth
I
of
just
chips.
I just shot a hole in a wall with fucking 6 chips to get out of here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was about 20,000 right there. So,
Yeah,
fuck. What did I do? What did I
I
do?
guess I'll use the rest of these to pay for the wall I destroyed.
Thanks. I'm gonna get out of here with my jet now. See you later. Like,
And
yeah, it was really, yeah, that movie was such a disappointment. Uh, it was such a disappointment that they decided not to go through with the other origin movies that they were gonna do. They were gonna
they
do,
were gonna do Magneto. They were gonna do Gambit,
yeah.
and they were supposed to do one more.
Well, I'm kind of glad that they left the
Yeah,
Magneto origin story in First Class. I thought that was kind of cool
yeah,
with him and Kevin Bacon. But
with the fucking coin through the forehead.
yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was clever. I was like, damn, mm, such a slow but fast death at the same time because you have.
yep.
Wonder how that
It's
fucking. Oh, like to realize that there's a fucking quarter halfway through your head and you're still alive.
And you're
Oh,
watching it go. Yeah, you're watching it go into your fucking head.
right. Oh my God, that's gotta be quite the number to go through. Um, yeah, I really feel like that was one of, I mean, the X-Men movies, there were some really great ones, and then there were just some really heinous ones, and it seemed like no one was really paying attention to the
Like Dark,
continuity. And then they
Dark
changed.
Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was the. They should have just let it die with Apocalypse. They were so like trying to fix the problem that
Right,
they had with Apocalypse that they were like, wait, hold on. Oh, you guys like Dark Phoenix? We're sorry about Apocalypse. Hold on. Just wait. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Hold on.
wait, watch. And it was like we got one up getting Ivan Ooze's cousin.
Where's everybody going? Hold on. We got dessert. I know the dinner was a shit show. Everything burned, but we got pie.
We got pie. We got banana bread pudding. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. We're gonna put Nella wafers on them. Oh yeah, it was such by the time that third movie came out, it really seemed like no one was really like everyone was phoning it in. It just was like,
Well, the problem, how are you gonna go from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? Like each movie was done during a different decade with the same
the same
people.
cast and not aging them up at
I
all.
understand you're a mutant, but you're still aging 40 years. You're not staying the same age.
Right. The only one that could have gotten away with that on any level was maybe Mystique and a Wolverine
Yeah.
character, because of them. Mystique can make herself look younger, and Wolverine
Yeah.
has, he ages more
Feeling.
right with the healing. But there's no way you
But
tell me,
all the other X-Men, if you go through the comic book continuity,
yeah,
by the time they get to like Uncanny X-Men from the first X-Men,
yeah,
the core X-Men went from teenagers to adults. Like they were, by the time they got that far, they were the teachers and they had
right,
aged like 20 years.
right, right.
And this one, it's like, oh, 40 years later, I'm still 22. No, you're not. And
You know, you should be
if
fucking
you
close to
are, if
60,
you are,
bitch.
that's fucking hella creepy.
Right, right. You should be paying AARP fucking
Yeah.
prices. You fucking get out of here. I don't trust you now. Oh, because I'm a mutant? No, because you don't age. I don't trust you. Get out of here, Satan. But yeah, you're right. That Wolverine movie was quite the
Why
disappointment.
they why they had to kill them old people?
I know, right? They had to kill him. They
Homeboy
had
was like, "Yo, here's breakfast."
All right. I made you a wholesome 7-course
Yeah.
breakfast. And I don't even care that you just destroyed our
Oh,
bathroom.
yeah. Here's our son that died. Here's his motorcycle jacket and his motorcycle, and here's
Right,
his clothes.
right.
You can be our new son because he's dead. Our son is dead.
We
Let
already love you unconditionally.
yeah, you're our boy.
Yeah.
And then literally the next day they're dead. It's like
Oh,
I
I
know
could live here
that guy
forever.
that guy must have gotten shot. Looked at fucking Logan and like, pull all that shit back on the fucking, put all that shit back on the floor,
That
run your
jacket.
naked ass out there
That
and fucking
they're
deal with
here
that.
for you.
And get,
They're here for you.
yeah,
That's my son's jacket, bitch.
you look, you brought that shit to my house,
You, you're
and
not
what the fuck?
enough to pick that
And
jacket
what the fuck did you do to my sink?
up, right? Like we were
I
just
just
living there
said
nice,
that.
milking goats, fucking eating fresh fruits.
Like
You come in
the
with that,
sink, the sink I can let go, but me being sniped from a fucking helicopter, you can't stay here, bro.
right? You're gonna have to go. Yeah, look at my poor wife over
My wife just got fucking firebombed, dude. The house is on fire. She's exploded.
there. Right.
She didn't.
Just
She didn't do that with a meatloaf in the oven, bro. That was fucking a rocket.
for real.
I could
Oh,
understand if she burnt the meatloaf, but she got hit with a rocket.
yeah. You need to go. You need to go. No, come back now. Come back
Yeah.
now.
Well, that's like in Logan. That dude's like, no, you gotta get out of here. And
Yeah.
he still got his family killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once he
Unfortunately.
realized this dude was a problem, he's like, no, you can't stay here, bro. Like, you gotta go. Oh, too late. We're all dead.
Right? That's what you get for being nice to the X-Men. You got a
Yeah.
one-way ticket to the dirt now. They don't even
Like
care.
Wolverine. Yeah.
They don't even care.
Yeah. This is why we
Oh,
can't have nice things.
see? See, it's because of you mutants that we can't have nice things. This is why we're
And
always
those
going to send you to Genosa.
ones,
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that movie was something else, man.
it was just. I mean, what were they trying? Like,
They were trying too much. I,
who? Not even who wrote the movie. Who looked at the script and was like, "Bro, this is awesome."
let's green like this. Let's green like this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I've been looking at the script and be like, so we got Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Oh no, he's not Deadpool. He's just Wade Wilson. Okay.
okay.
Um,
And
but
you
at some point we're gonna put him in the costume and have him fucking talking shit, right? No,
oh,
not
okay.
at all.
At all.
Oh wait, we're actually gonna remove his mouth.
Wow. Okay.
We got Hugh Jackman. He's killing it as Wolverine right now.
Yeah, yeah, he's doing great.
The last couple movies, his clothes were pretty decent size.
Yeah.
But this is his origin story, so let's make him extra huge. So that means by the time we get to the first X-Men movie in the timeline,
Yeah. He would have lost
he's filed his nails down.
it. Yeah.
He's filed his nails down, but they're adamantium, but you can't fuck with them, like you can't break them or nothing. So how did he file his nails down?
Seriously. Unless you make an adamantium
Oh,
nail.
we got a great idea for Sabretooth. All right.
Yeah.
Great idea for Sabretooth. So we'll put him in this movie. Yeah, but this dude ain't the same dude from the last one. So what happens to him between this one and that one? He mutates even further and gets stupider.
He hits puberty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing. Sabretooth has been traditionally such a bigger character height wise than Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I've seen that Liev Schreiber did do a good job with Sabretooth. I think he did. I
Yeah.
think everyone did with what they had to work with. But yeah,
Except
man.
for the
Yeah, how you
except for the script writers. The script writers didn't even work on shit.
no.
They worked on trying to make it as much of a not Wolverine movie as they tried to make it as much of a Wolverine movie.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this guy come from Jersey instead of Canada because he's gonna be we want to give him that attitude, you know what I mean? And then yeah, we're gonna we're gonna kill old people in here too. We're gonna kill the old people in the movie and yeah, we're gonna do a lot. We're gonna do a lot. We have faith. We have faith in this movie. I don't like you said, I don't know who greenlit this movie. I don't know who handled it. I'm kind of glad that they got smart with it and hired someone like you need to have someone like a Kevin Feige around that kind of knows where all this came from and kind of help
But
transition.
I even liked the one where he goes to Japan, the second one, the Wolverine. I
Yeah,
liked that movie, but it was also out of context with the rest of the X-Men movie. Like they're trying to put him in his own story, but at the same time keep him like not as a different character. But there's no even in that movie they kind of like pulled him out of the like they
right.
kind of made him where you're breaking the fourth wall just by making him all these different versions of him, but they're
And
all supposed to be the same version of him.
if you really think about it in the comic books, yes, he would have his own stories, but a lot of times the stories were connected to what he was doing in the X-Men
Yeah,
stories as well. So it wasn't always some of the
they
Wolverine
would
issues.
always try to pull it in at the end by having Charles Xavier show up,
Right. And that's
and then at the end of Logan, he was taking care of Xavier.
right. I just don't think that there was any real uh that they try to make things work and they try to sew things together that it work. And it the whole timeline just was like, what is going on here? Like, and like you said, they age the cast, but still look like they just out of college, like get out of here, man.
Nothing to Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
By the logic of having Days of Future Past and Logan in the same reality, they
right?
don't even look like the same planet.
No, no,
The
they don't.
future Days of Future Past, Charles Xavier isn't fucking
An
like
invalid.
100,000 years old and like decrepit, and Logan has a little bit of gray hair. But then
Right.
we're supposed to believe that like it's only another couple years later, and there's no like you're in the middle of the fucking Arizona, um, as a retired
And
couple.
right, and Xavier killed all the X-Men, but you telling me that there's no other mutants or superheroes after him,
Yeah,
even though it was an accident to bring him in and be like, like no, Logan, he needs to get sedated or something, and be kept somewhere. We can't just have you running around with him in fucking casinos
yeah.
and other places and have him possibly killing more people. Like, oh, I'll take care of him. No, no, you can't, obviously, because the whole fucking
You
casino
know,
almost died.
you know what character they needed in that reality?
What's that? Who's that?
They needed Phantom X in that reality.
Ah,
The guy that
yes,
went back, the guy that went back and killed Apocalypse as an infant.
right, right. They need him. That's as ruthless as you can get. You know,
They should have. As soon as fucking Xavier started having headaches, this dude should have just walked up to him, pop, double tap.
as soon as yeah, as soon as Xavier was like, I think I have a migraine.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Well, guys, just look away.
Look
I'll
away.
do it.
And Xavier's having a migraine. We know what this means.
You read that X Force comic, right? The X Force where he did that.
I heard about it. I haven't gotten to read
Bro,
the review.
I read that one, and you got Archangel, Wolverine, Deadpool, Psylocke, and Phantom X,
All
right?
badass.
And they're all basically they're all their worst version of themselves too. Like they're all the ruthless killers.
Right,
That
right.
when they go back, and their whole plan, yeah, we're gonna kill
Right, right.
Apocalypse. It's not even Apocalypse. It's a descendant of Apocalypse that's like the next coming.
Oh wow, okay.
And the child is maybe a year old, a year
Right.
and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
So they finally get to where this child is.
Yeah.
Wolverine, Deadpool, and Archangel, all three of them are like, I can't do it. he's a fucking baby. I can't do it. I can't. And while they're being like, I can't do it, they hear pow pow, and they turn around, and Phantom X's gun is smoking.
Oh my god.
And they look at him and they're like, holy shit.
Damn. Damn. Like, oh, I would have been like, I know we needed to do that, but Jesus. I need a beer.
They all looked at him like, wow. Like we're some fucking degenerates over here, and we couldn't bring ourselves to do that shit.
No, we're a group of degenerates right here, and oh my god, you are on another level, my friend.
That would be like having like Hitler, Freddy Krueger, and fucking Michael Myers standing there, and fucking, let's say, James Bond walks up
Right.
and murders the fucking president of the United States, like, or
Right.
murders fucking what's the current like child actor of the day or some shit, like
That's like him killing fucking Harry Potter when Harry Potter first came out. You fucking killed
basically.
What's wrong with you?
Hitler, Freddy Krueger, and Michael Myers watching James Bond murder Harry Potter.
All right. Like, oh man, that kid didn't go through enough. This bastard was living under stairs for 12 years. God.
He didn't even get Levioso yet. You killed that motherfucker.
Oh my god. Like, you didn't even get to go to suckus my dickus or something like that.
All right, you know what? Actually, not Harry Potter, since, it's the second coming apocalypse. Those motherfuckers watching James Bond walk up and shoot Voldemort as a fucking infant.
As a baby, right.
Yeah. That would make more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's bad when some vile motherfuckers look at you like you're an animal. Like, they just sit there and look at you like something wrong with you, bro. And you're just like, well, you're fucking Hitler. What are you talking about, you bastard? But no, you fucked up, bro. It's up to you boys to let you know when you fucked up.
Listen, I'm all for genocide, but holy fuck.
Are we killing babies now? Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm not even going to get into what I wanted to say because this is going up on YouTube. But
yeah, you're right.
I got to pull it back a bit. But me and you might have a conversation later on that one.
Yeah. Oh man. But some interesting stuff there. I'm really happy we were able to get together, Tim. It's been a while. We've been planning on getting together for a little bit. I'm glad that we were able to get this done and put this up. I'm wondering if anyone's choices are going to be like ours. So, you let us know down below what movie has disappointed you the most as audience member. See if it fits with what we have here on Tully Television there. And I think we did good, and I think we definitely can do something, meet up again in a few days and do another.
Think of something else we can rattle off about?
Yeah, rattle off, yell out the air like a couple of old men. Yeah, I want to thank you, Timmy, for stopping by too. It means a lot.
It's an honor and a pleasure, and
it was fun. It was fun. If I didn't have to worry about this chicken soup on the stove, I'd want to hang out with you longer here. But
we got. You know how old people can just keep talking and talking until the point where everyone's like, "Would you just shut the fuck up already?" We get it. So I think we're at that point right now.
Right. I want to think.
You got to think. We're not just chilling, bro. We got people watching this, so
Right,
I get it.
right. But yeah, thank you again, Tim, for stopping by. It means the world. It means the world to me. For those of you who have been watching, subscribing, liking, hitting all on that bell notification. Let us know what you think down below about movie flops that you disappointed you. And until next time, guys, peace. See you later, Timmy.
Third floor window.